Hi everyone, it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to share a project I made with some Birch Press Design products. I used the Tranquility layering die set, so it's not a cover plate. It's not a cover plate. I also used the Handwritten thanks and the outline die. And then I pulled up some Open Studio clear fairy jewels. And yeah, I think that's about all the products I actually used, besides the distress oxides that I'm using right here. This is the Kit Flamingo and Squeezed Lemonade Distress Oxides, and I am blending these together across, and this is half a sheet of 8.5 by 11, so it's like 5.5 by 4, well, no, by 8.5. Yeah, 5.5 by 8.5. My original intention was to create 2 cards. That is not how this worked out because I didn't think through it as far as I should have. So I will show you what happened, and I mean, I love the card in the end. So the end result is, if you didn't know that I screwed up, you wouldn't know that, well, I screwed up. I mean, changed my plan, right? Not really screwed up. Like, when you sit down to make a card, sometimes it just doesn't work the way you originally intended, but you're able to fix it. That's what's going on. So after I blended those together, I also added some of the same ink colors to my glass mat, and then I'm gonna like pounce this in there. These are the Distress Oxides, so they do oxidize, but I also wanted some of those harsher, more concentrated colored areas that you get when you ink smush. So I just decided that I wanted to add a little bit extra texture, and that's how I was going to do it. And this is just some Neenah cardstock. It's not even like really good cardstock to blend on, but them Distress Oxides, they blend so well on everything. Maybe like plastic, like U-Pope paper probably wouldn't be good. Then I let my panel dry and I cut it in half, and I die cut out the word thanks, like the actual handwritten thanks die. It has a shadow, and I did that. Then I cut out the top layer of the Tranquility die from the panel, and it overlapped where the thanks was. So I took that out. You can see it on my mat there. And I die cut all of the other layers out of pink and yellow cardstock and then black cardstock. So I had like 6 pieces to put together, 2 back pieces, well, no, 12 pieces. There's a lot of pieces when it comes down to it. It's totally worth it. But I layered up the back piece onto a piece of black, which I did in yellow. And then this middle piece here is on pink, but I layered that onto black as well. And then I will also layer the top piece out onto some black cardstock, and all of the middles as well. So here, that's the pink one, and then these 2 go together. And I am using this new to me. I think it's pretty new, but I know it's absolutely new to me. Easy Squeeze Craft Glue by Pink and Main. I like that one. It's so far so good. But it works really nice to adhere these kind of pieces together, because sometimes you have to kind of slide it around just a little bit to make sure that it's all even. And something like a dry adhesive might not let you do that. So here I'm just continuing to layer my pieces. I'm adding adhesive to, the top of the black one or the bottom of the colored one, so that that black layer can be behind it. Now I could have offset it and added kind of a cool shadow or twisted it just a tiny bit, but I didn't. I lined them up. All those would make really cool cards doing this too. So just ideas. This is where it went off rails. I originally planned to take that other piece of cardstock that I had ink blended and make another card. Here I realized that I needed to back my front panel with it so that those colors would shine through. And so there's that problem. Then when I was layering all of my dies here, you see how on that top one that's ink blended, you see the black, right? It's totally understandable. I cut out the word thanks from right there. but I could not wrap my head around that I didn't need to make sure that all those little pieces were covered, because I have the shadow die already cut out, sitting over to the side, like waiting for me to just pick up, and it just slipped my mind completely. And I was so hyper focused on, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I don't really want to start over. While I'm layering all this up, my brain is running 100 miles an hour. But you can see now I've inlaid the back panel, which is that yellow, and now I'm going to adhere this pink layer over top. And it has the inner circle, which is separate. You can switch them out, which is really cool. You could use it by itself. Very, very neat die sets that Birch Press Designs carries. I really love the dimension and texture that they add to my cards. But here I'm just layering the center up. So this is gorgeous as it is. I could have slapped the word thanks on there and been about my day, but I had decided I wanted kind of this eclipse pattern instead of just like an eclipse sentiment that you see a lot of times in cards. I wanted this to just be super textural, but be highlighted by the yellow and the pink. You know, that's why I did the 2 layers, the different colors, to kind of highlight the pattern, but yet it just kind of all melts together. It looks like an eclipse design, which is like when you have an image and you cut letters out of it and then you stack those letters on like black, like 2 layers of black, and then you inlay them back in. You get this eclipse effect where you can kind of see the word or whatever it is from one angle, but from another angle you just really see the image. That's kind of what is going to end up happening here, but I have this like black spot, and it was driving me nuts because the card is so pretty. And then I realized that I had the thanks, like back the shadow already cut out. So because this is so deep here, so thick, I also cut out a bunch of the end of the word thanks, the like part of the K and the S, and I stacked them on there so that they were the same height as this layered dimensional piece that I created. So that I didn't have to use any foam tape or anything, and everything was the same, you know, height. This is also, the reason that I cut out this black piece is because it was going to hide this. But like I said, while I was putting this card together, I could not figure out how I was going to repair that back, that piece enough that my thanks would fit in there and it would just be seamless. It would have gotten lost, like even more, because of this intricate pattern that is there with that Tranquility layer die set that is so intricate, and this hand lettered thanks is so delicate and beautiful that it just kind of blended in a little bit too much, even if I could have figured that out. But that the plan was to use this nice shadow because it's not a really heavy, big, thick shadow like sometimes you see in those types of like shadow dies. It's very delicate, just like the word itself, and it just outlines it enough that it stands out. But you can see this pattern in the background. It's got, you can see where the yellow peeks through up in the pink, and you can see how it blends in quite a bit down at the bottom. It's just that eclipse idea, and these dies worked so beautifully to do that. Here I'm adding those fairy jewels or clear ones. I am just putting them in kind of everywhere. I wanted this to sparkle. The distress oxides that I use, I let them oxidize. So they're very chalky and soft, almost muted, and they're not shiny. It's just so soft and pale. And I needed something to be like fancy and glamorous because this die is so pretty that it couldn't just be there. So I added lots and lots and lots of bling. Like everywhere I could stick one, I did. And it's so pretty. I was so happy that I had these. They're the clear, it's just a whole sheet of clear ones. They're really nice. They're tiny. They fit in like these tiny little spaces in this die. Oh, and I had a little bit of adhesive on my card, and I made sure I used my adhesive remover to take that off there. Once I had them kind of all the way around, I decided I wanted to add a few underneath the tail of the word thanks. They're hidden really nicely as far as mailing underneath that thanks, so that they are not taller than that, so they wouldn't catch in a machine. Not that the other, 80 that I put on this card wouldn't be very machine friendly, but they don't stick up much, and I think they add a lot more than they take away. So that is my card for today. I hope you check out the coordinating blog post over at Birch Press Design. I will have their blog linked below, and I will have all the links to everything that I used in the little comment section, no, the little video description. And as I always say, give cards generously. Bye.